Hello, I'm Mrs. Mhemet and today I'm going to be showing you how to make some beautiful sensory coloured rice using a very easy method. All you will need is some gloves so you don't get any food colouring on your hands. You'll need some baking parchment, or if you don't have any, foil will also work. You'd need some long grain rice or just everyday, any kind of rice you can find laying around at home. You'll need some food colouring. I've got gel food colouring here, but you can use any food colouring, which will always work. And you'll need some hand sanitizer. It doesn't have to be this particular hand sanitizer that I'm holding up, it can be any one. You'll also need a freezer bag, a kitchen towel to hand, a spoon, and some scissors to open the rice. Now, firstly, you're going to open the freezer bag so it's nice and easy for when you pop the rice in. Just roll down the sides and pop it on the table. And so use the scissors to open the bag of rice. And you only need a little bit of rice in the bag. Make sure you don't fill the rice up all the way up, otherwise it's going to be really difficult to mix the food colouring with the hand sanitizer. So I'd say pour it just about a quarter of the way. I'll pop that down. So you only need a little bit of rice, and you'll also need a little bit of food colouring. And today I'm going to go with violet. This is gel food colouring, like I said, but any food colouring usually works. And I'm just going to use the tip of a spoon to use just a tiny bit of violet food colouring, as the gel food colouring can be really strong, so you don't need too much of it. And it's usually a bit of a fiddle to get it off the end of the spoon. So if you just wipe it on the side of the food container bag, the freezer bag, just give the spoon a wipe with some kitchen towel so you don't get your lovely tablecloth dirty. Pop the lid back on the food colouring. I know you can see that the food colouring is on the side of the bag, but don't worry too much, because when you mix it all together, it will work into the rice really nicely. So get your hand sanitizer. You only need a little bit. Just give it a little squirt in there. Roll the bag up. Don't forget to close the top of the bag, because I've made that mistake many times and my kitchen has been covered with coloured rice when I've been shaking it all about. So make sure it's zipped up nicely. The thicker freezer bags work a lot better. So all you're going to do is just give it a little mix up like that. If you lay it on the table, it will be much easier just for you to give it a rub and a roll around. You just have to be quite patient with it. As you can see, the food colouring is already starting to work. So you just need to rub it in. And you can already see that the violet is coming out in the rice. You just keep giving it a shake. Make sure the food colouring is worked in really nicely. You move it all about to see where you need to mix the rice a bit more. So just work it through nicely. Like I said, I've only used a little bit of food colouring because you don't need too much, as the pigment in the colour is really strong. And that should all have worked itself in quite nicely. And then you should have that as a result. So you'll get your tray where you've laid your baking parchment on, or your foil if you haven't got any at home. I'll just move my scissors out of the way. All you need to do is gently pour it onto the tray. Gently pour it onto the tray like that. And spread it out using your gloves, which is why we wear gloves, to protect our hands, because we don't want to get food colouring, especially parents, as it will stain our fingernails for a very long time. So if you just lay it out like that, usually I'd say that the rice dries pretty quickly. So if you leave it for about half an hour to an hour, I dyed some rice this morning, it took about an hour to dry. after I put it near the heater. So I would suggest, if your heating is on, now that the weather's cold, you leave it near the heater, and then it will dry quite quickly. And once it's nice and dry, like these lovely colours I've got here, I've got red, yellow, green and blue here. I'll just pop this to one side. You can use the sensory rice to add the cards in for your home learning, as it's nice for the children to have a feel, have a go at finding other equipment and other toys in the sensory rice. And it's just really nice for them to have a feel. It's really good for their fine motor skills as well. And also you can add other things like toys in, counting toys that you might have at home, like this.